For some Q&A. So with that, the title of this presentation is Mobilized Marketing, or QRU, because QR codes is you kind of mobilized, and I'm going to show you how this will help you take the power of the internet and put it practically everywhere. Now, how many people have smartphones? Most of you. How many people have the QR reader on your smartphone? Most of you. Good. Not all of you. And I actually downloaded mine about 2 or 3 weeks ago. And because I was researching, I was actually going to a trade show. I go to a lot of art shows. And I was going to visit all of the vendors, and I thought, picking up business cards seems so out of date. And I thought, what if everybody had a QR code so I could actually capture that on my phone? So I started doing some research. And what I found was quite astounding to me. First, what I'm going to talk about is just a marketing concept, and this is true for anything. With a website or a mobile website, you have to have traffic, right? No traffic gets you no business. So you have to talk about conversions or driving traffic to something. Then the conversion. Once they get there, whether it's to your website or your ad, then you want them to take action, whether it's to pick up the phone or click to buy or fill out a form. So you have to think about the conversion ratio. Because once you do that, then you get more customers. You get the call or the come in, repeat business, referrals, etc. The factor that I hadn't talked about to this point was the middle factor, which is the conduit. Statistics are showing, we're going to go through some statistics. People are using these more and more to access the internet. So why go mobile? Here are the statistics. I'm not going to go through all of these, but 1 in 5 U.S. mobile phone users use a mobile phone internet every day. That may not be you, but 1 in 5, and that's growing. 25% of U.S. mobile phone users are mobile only. That was pretty interesting, which means people who have mobile phones never go to a desktop. They are solely using this to get to the internet. Mobile searches have quadrupled in the last year, so again, a growing trend. 71% of smartphone users that see a TV press this, and I think Ryan talked about it in your presentation. People are seeing something on TV, oh, that's cool, and then they go on their phone and they start doing the searches. The number of people accessing the mobile internet is expected to overtake the PC by 2015. So, I mean, this is something that we as business people need to be aware of, because they are a target market in a lot of cases. 79% of smartphone users use their device to help with shopping. Again, these numbers are kind of expanding. So, this is your website. Now, this isn't your website. It's just an example. So, this is a website I did for an artist that I visited in Sonora over Thanksgiving. And it's got all what I call the conversion parts. It's got the link to her Etsy store she sells online. It's got a slideshow showing some of the work. It's got her blog. It's got her show schedule. So, it's got all those conversion factors of turning a visitor into a potential customer. This is the website on a mobile device. Small, hard to read. It has the buttons, but then you have to do the zoom thing. And again, we want conversion. So if we don't make it easy for the person who visits on their cell phone, we could lose them. So what I did for her when I visited her is I converted it. This is actually a cool quote. Jeremy Epstein, does anybody know him? He's apparently a guru. He says, here's a news flash. If you have a website, you're already in the mobile world. People can access you with using their phone. And the chances are you're making a terrible impression if you haven't mobilized it. Again, it's that conversion. So what can we do as business owners to make a better experience on that? We can convert it to a mobile website. So here what we've done is basically put icons on there that let you go to her show schedule, that let you go to her Etsy store, that let you opt into her newsletter, call me, and it's got some things that the website can't do, but that's the power of converting it. So now the people who go there are going to have a better experience. For those of you with smartphones, I suggest you open it up and try this on your phone. I'm going to pass this around. I don't have copies for everybody. But this is what I took her for her show. She was doing a show in Sonora. So I told her, just as an experiment, because I hadn't really told her much about this. I did her website, but I said, try this. Put this sign on your vendor table. And you don't have to explain it. There's going to be people in the audience who are just going to know, and they'll take advantage of it. And it's going to take them to this mobile website. and just let me know how it goes. And we dropped it off, I think, Friday at about, no, it was Saturday at 4 o'clock. She called me that night at 7, and she said, you won't believe it. Within 15 minutes, 4 people snapped it. And they go, oh, look at this. And she hadn't seen it before because she doesn't have a smartphone. So again, the kind of impression that it makes for you as a business kind of escalates. And that's one of the things I wanted to share is I think Woody Allen says you don't have to be light years ahead of your competition. You only have to be like 43 seconds. Well, if you as a business are one of the few businesses that are using the QR code, it kind of elevates you in the mind of your clientele. And, oh, they're cutting edge. Oh, you know, they're kind of on the edge of things. So again, it's a very easy way to kind of create a good impression on the internet. So mobilized websites should optimize the text, images, and widgets for the internet. Again, you won't have a call me widget on your you can if you have all those Skype things, but it'll be specific for the mobile device. You want to provide key points in sound bites. I talk about nutshell marketing and kind of getting it concise, even more so, because you can't put your whole website on your mini website because people aren't going to read it. It's going to be overwhelming. So you really want to sound bite down. Videos are great. Again, a link to a video that shows them or tells them a story. Again, sound bites are good on mobile. Select your content with mobile audience in mind. So depending on your business, obviously if you're an artist going to shows, your show schedule is important. Link to some of samples of your work is important. If you're a storefront or a restaurant, hours of business, a map to your location. So again, don't put everything on there. Think about what does my audience need to know when they're on their cell phone. Okay, so let's talk about QR codes and how that plays. Now, I think you've all seen these around, right? In the interviews I've done with businesses over the last couple of weeks, a lot of people have thought about them but haven't known what to do with it. And that's why I think it's important for us to know. It can be directed to a mobilized website or any online URL. Could be a YouTube video or whatever. I think the experience on a mini website is better, or again, chunking it down to something that they can actually click on and do something with immediately. So here's a tip. Even though you can find anything to generate a QR code online. There's a lot of free services, but register it for a URL you own, because you want to own that URL. Because that way, if you're pointing let's say you're pointing your QR code at your YouTube video, if you make the QR code for that YouTube video address, you have to change your QR code to point it to something else. So better to register a domain name and just point it at something. That way you have control and you'll never have to point your or change your QR code. Because I'm going to put this on my car. Anything printable, you can put it on your car or your printed shirt, car, whatever. And I don't want to change that every time I change my destination. Right. So the suggestion would be to register a domain name. It's like what, $10 a year at GoDaddy. And have control of that.
But I could print a new sticker to go over it.
Oh yeah, he could do that. But I don't want to go through that. No. Okay, the other thing is you could add logic to your website. It's just a little script that says if somebody is visiting my website on their smartphone, direct them to my mobile destination. That was a light bulb for me. And it's pretty simple. It knows if you're visiting the website on your smartphone to send them to a mobile device. So that's another tip. Oh, here's some FAQs. QR FAQs. So I think I've already kind of painted the story of why you want to consider having a mobile version of your website versus just a website. But my competition doesn't have one, so why do I? Obviously, being on the cutting edge is kind of a good thing. Being the first on the block, being part of the cool. But I don't have a smartphone. That doesn't matter. It's like if you sell Lexus cars, you don't have to own a Lexus car. Right. It does help if you drive a Lexus car every so often. So kind of be educated about it, but just don't let I don't use my smartphone. If your target market does, as a business, we need to consider it. Okay, let's talk about some specific QR code applications. I talked about vendors. So even if you're at a business trade show, can you imagine if you had your QR code displayed at your table, how easy it would be for people to capture information. And you only have maybe 30, 60 seconds to talk to each person who visits your trade show. If they capture your QR code, then you can have a video that tells them the rest of the story, or links to some examples or testimonials from clients. All of a sudden, your presence at that table has just exponentialized.
It works.
It works.
We did it at our last home show. We just put it right there, right in the center of our booth. And I mean, probably 20 people in the first day. We didn't even say a word. Click,
Yep.
click, click, click. Just, on the QR code.
Exactly. And same thing with art shows. People who don't have a brick and mortar, it's great to have that presence on their phone. Businesses display your cash register or storefront. So again, it's kind of this passive way to remind people. You might give them an incentive. So for example, if you at the cash register, or even at the hours, if they miss you, if you have your QR code displayed where your hours are, oh gosh, they don't open till 7. They can take that picture, know when your hours are, have them back to the location, and have a actual reminder in this phone about contacting you again. Restaurants, posted at a tent table. We went to dinner at Sweetwater, and we talked about how if the restaurant had a tent card with a QR code. So did you enjoy your dinner? Take a picture and leave a post on a social media site about your experience. Incentivize people to help you with your socialized marketing. Networking. John with his back. Stand up again, John. Turn around. Now, again, we talk about purple cow marketing, being the purple cow in a brown cow world. That's eventually it will not be purple cow, but right now it's purple cow. I'm going to get a badge with my QR code. In fact, when we were in Sonora, Bill and I walked around, and people would ask, what's that? Gave me a chance to talk about what we do. So again, think about how you can utilize this to be the cool purple cow of your industry. And then print it everywhere. I'm going to show you some examples. Shirts, signs, back of your shirt, promotional items in your car, send out cards, anything you could print on, ads in the newspaper, whatever it is, put that QR code, because that all of a sudden exponentializes the power of anything printed. Because I say you can only put so much information in a quarter-page ad. By adding a QR code, it just boom.
That's good.
Now what?
How do you develop it?
Okay, we'll talk about it at the end. So this was another puzzle for me, because as a left-brain analytical, I'm going, okay, now I got the stuff for QR code, now what do I do with it? You can obviously bookmark it, but that seemed kind of inefficient to me. But I'm going to talk about what I found. You can forward it by email, so that's cool. Because if, for example, out at the art show, oh, I got to show this to my friend Sally. In fact, the artist said this. Somebody took a picture of a bracelet, sent it to her sister with the QR code for the artist, and said, hey, you want to go halvesies for Christmas? Again, made it really easy. Share it on Facebook or any social media site. Has anybody heard of Evernote? A few people. I've been doing research, and to me, that's one of the coolest things. I was figuring out how to organize myself. I can organize, my desk is now organized, but how do I organize my stuff on my smartphone? Evernote is a free service. You can upgrade for a small price if you have a lot of stuff, but you can sign up for a free service. What I'm able to do now is when I take a picture of a QR code, one of my sharing options is to Evernote. I have folders on my Evernote account that are broken down by things for the home, things for my business, potential clients. So when I am out there and I take a picture, I can categorize it, send it to my Evernote, but what's so cool about it is I can actually add some text to it as a reminder of why I'm saving it, or an audio. So I can hit the speaker button, say, send this to Sharon to see if she wants to go halvesy for Christmas. Save. That takes all of the brain out of doing something and makes it a no-brainer. So that's not a service that we offer, but I'm trying to teach my clients and the user community about this tool, because I think that's going to help all of us kind of share information and save information and keep it. Okay. So as far as to answer your question, you can go online, because this is what I did. I just went and Googled QR codes to find out what they are and where to get them. You can find QR code conversion programs. You can found something that would actually you could put in your contact information and create what I'll call a V-card version of it that you can send to people. You could put any kind of URL and convert it. Again, I would recommend that you register a domain name if you're going to be printing on a lot of stuff, just to keep it permanent. Do you have any other questions about any part of this? Yes.
I just make a quick comment because I love QR codes and Evernote. Somebody showed me one of these networking meetings, and it's fantastic. You may have a problem finding Evernote on your, say, your Android market, and the way I got around that was I went to my desktop, pulled up Evernote, and it had a QR code on it. I took a and you can actually download it right from their site onto your phone,
Yeah.
which is pretty